So guys, Kenneth Okonkwo was on Arise Television to talk about the coalition. He's saying that they've not still decided on who is going to be the presidential candidate. And he is insisting that any presidential candidate who decides to run alone cannot beat TINUBU. We know that there was this speculation that Peter Obi has walked out of the coalition, which I personally cannot ascertain. But I'm going to allow you to take a look at what Kenneth Okonkwo said about no individual candidates can beat TINUBU come 2027. Take your time, watch this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
Well, let me ask you, and let me just pick up from, that introduction. Right now, the conversation seems to be plaguing the coalition is around who runs and what platform. You're at the heart of this, you're part of this coalition. Would you say the coalition has lost focus? Is it not too early in the day to be having this chaos, disagreements?
Well, first of all, coalition is a group of interested parties that come together for a common goal. Nigerians like formulating stories, which I call market talk. How can something be in disarray when it has not started? People are talking, and some opponents are already selling to you that it's in disarray. All we have now is common priorities. We don't have individual differences because the time for individual ambition has not commenced. So we are just talking about the options that we have, which is the option of, do we go for a new party altogether? Now, with INEC as a department of APC, you know that they put unnecessary roadblocks to the opposition and engages in a lot of rough tackle.
But it's clear that INEC is not a department of the APC.
Umpire.
That's
the electoral umpire of the country.
Yeah. Electoral umpire.
Or the electoral body.
Well, I'm going to go into that. But I just want to talk about the option that we are weighing.
Okay.
If we are in a nation where rule of law is guaranteed under this kind of INEC, it would have been preferred to have a new party altogether, registered, where everybody will move in. But like I said, when the INEC has the tendency of inordinately delaying what is apparent, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. So that is why we contemplate also trying to choose from existing political parties that will align with our vision for a great Nigeria that is built on democratic principles. We're not just looking at the next election. We're looking at building a true democratic society that will respect your sovereignty to choose your leaders through free, fair, credible, and periodic election, respecting the fundamental human rights of Nigerians, ensuring independent and free press. Of course, you know how much some of you have been arrested for no reason, for just saying what should be said. Then, of course, independent and impartial judiciary, etc. But most importantly, the rule of law. Can you imagine a governor in Akwa Ibom State, for instance, sacking a media house with a journalist for broadcasting a news which he made himself? And we think it is normal?
So we don't deviate from the issue.
So the coalition, like I said, it is the options we are weighing, and we are common in it. So the individual difference has not even arisen, because we've not talked about who's going to run or who's not going to run.
But the signals that people are getting, that Nigerians are getting, is that, like they say, too many cooks spoil the broth, but that's not even particularly the issue here. That all the people who want to coalesce, who want to come together, they all have this personal interest of wanting to be on the ticket. In fact, to be the front runner on the ticket. That's what's causing this seeming delay of coming out clearly to say, look, we now have a coalition, whether it's a new party or it's adopting what you politicians call a special purpose vehicle. Yeah. Good. It looks like it's being delayed, yes. But some are saying it might just be dead on arrival. As a matter of fact, let me quote the statement that you made some weeks back, yes, that no single candidate can beat TINUBU alone in 2027. And
I repeat it here and stand by it. And that is why you said no single candidate. And that's why we are going into a coalition. And I am saying that any candidate out of that coalition who goes it alone fails alone automatically by whatever name called. But if the candidate goes, it may make it more difficult, not impossible, for the coalition to win. So there is a probability the coalition can win. Easier if all of them work together. More difficult if any candidate leaves.
What will that ticket look like?
The ticket of the coalition?
Yes.
That's exactly.
Is it even on the table? Is it clear now?
That is exactly why I'm saying that there is no way we could have had any individual differences, because as a coalition, we have not talked whatsoever about who is going to run or who is not going to run. whatsoever as a coalition. If individual candidates are talking to each other, that is personal to them,
All
not
right.
as the coalition.
There's also this insinuation pointed that there seems to be a lack of urgency as to this coalition drive. They've mentioned some individuals who they feel even their personal interest, like Ngozi has pointed out, will make this coalition fail from the start. For instance, they say Peter Obi insists he's still a member of the Labour Party, yet seems to be talking to the coalition. And Atiku has always wanted to be president, he has not shied away from it. And El Rufai has left the APC to join the SDP, he's talking with the coalition. And Emechi also, they say, has ambition. So it looks like a lot of personal egos and people who are interested in power are part of the coalition. So that's why they think, this personal interest will kill this coalition from the beginning. But as a member as well, you've proposed an open North-South primary with a 4-year presidency as a compromise.
Yes.
Given the competition among all of these people I've mentioned and, the pointers that are out there, have you tabled this to the coalition and is it being received at all?
Now, ask me this question sometime in the future.
Why not now?
That's what I'm telling you. That I first of all
is that not postponing the doomsday?
No, I first of all define what coalition means. Coalition is not a political party. It is not. It is people, I said interested parties coming together to talk for common goal. So until that stage is passed and a platform is chosen and a political party is chosen, and I can tell you this is the political party, and then that's when I can tell you this is our plan. Don't bother. The time for individual differences must come. I am telling you, I'm very frank. By the time you start addressing the individual ambitions, that individual difference will inevitably come under the platform. Then how you manage it or not manage it is what is going to have the problem.
So does that not speak to the lack of
urgency? I recommended
Let's
a
quickly
free
bring
primary where everybody will be allowed to contest without anybody being pressured to step down on any basis.
All right, let me put you on hold. We'll have to bring in this report very quickly so that you can maybe even respond to it. Now, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has expressed optimism that despite its challenges, the People's Democratic Party will not die but remain as a viable opposition. Well, in Abuja, the minister hosted members of the party under the aegis of concerned stakeholders of the PDP. Now, those at the meeting included members of the defunct G5 governors, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, Samuel Otom, and Okezie Ikpeazu, with the exception of Seyi Makinde. Now, it was not immediately clear if he was invited. Now, others at the meeting include the embattled PDP National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, former Senate Minority Leader Philip Aduda, serving, and former federal and state lawmakers, and some zonal and state party executives. Now, Wike says the concerned stakeholders are those who have always believed and who still believe in the survival of the PDP. Okay, that's another matter, an interesting one too, for that matter. Maybe you have a response to that. But let me throw this in very quickly. You once, okay, now you once said that TINUBU, Atiku, Obi should step aside from running for president. Do you still believe that?
Now, you see, the difference between personal opinion and the collective. When you are moving into a coalition, you subordinate your own personal interest to the collective will. And so I said it, even as at that time I said it. I said in a coalition, if I am part of it, whoever is thrown up in a coalition, I will support the person. But personally, I would have preferred a new set of leaders. But you see, when you are fighting an incumbent, it's a different ball game. You will need the unity of everybody in order to succeed. You can't, I'm a Democrat. I can't force my own opinion. I stand by my opinion. But when you now have other people in a coalition, they also have their own opinion. They will present strong reasons. But you know one thing about democracy? Eventually it operates in the comparative, not in the superlative. But at the end of the day, the choices you have do not include even the ones you wish to come. You can't go and force anybody from his home to come and contest. So from the available pool, one thing I have always said is that Peter Obi or Atiku will be better than this regime. That I am sure of.
Okay, so
because Atiku was the vice president during Obasanjo's regime. This regime has beatified every regime that was before them.
So you're okay with
any politician that can take us even to Obasanjo's days will be celebrated as a hero.
You're okay with the old guard, as long as they meet your conditions.
Very well.
Great, but I go back to that sense of urgency or the lack of it thereof, and I really want you to speak to that. Also, I wanted you to speak to Can you speak to the urgency? I think I lost my train of thought now.
All right.
The sense of urgency.
Now.
Yes.
They say, I'm using legal analogy. Justice delayed, for instance, is justice denied. But justice rushed is justice crushed. If in your haste to be urgent, you fall into the trap of not negotiating very well and carrying everybody along, that is where that your statement that is dead on arrival comes in. You have to. The urgency is needed, but you have to be very methodical.
Great, I remember my point now. You say individuality has not come into the conversation yet. Okay, so address this that is also out.
Yeah.
Two political parties that are being put up, the AGC and the ADA, registration of one and using the other. There's also the SDP on ground saying they are the beautiful bride that should be used for the coalition.
Yeah.
Why is it that you have not been able to meet one? I mean, a camp is pushing for a registration of one party, another camp is pushing for an existing party. I mean, if individuality has not come into play,
why is it taking long?
Why is it taking so difficult to pick a party? After all, it's a vehicle.
Now, like I told you, all these stories, they are not reflective of the facts. We have committees set up, different committees addressing the different issues. There is a committee to know whether we can register a new party.
They passed their deadline. They passed their deadline.
No,
your committee has passed the deadline.
But I told you, that's why we have different options. So we have the committee that is negotiating with different parties that are already existing.
Right.
It is those ones that meet our criteria that we will eventually choose. So the coalition has very clear mind
very
on
quickly
what
before we let
Okay.
you go, Kenneth, we're being wrapped up.
So-
Seriously, this decamping that's going to defections and what have you. The Labour Party Senator Neda Imaswan has just jumped ship. Of course, like you mentioned, the governor of Akwa Ibom State and all of that. Where does opposition really go from here? And what do you make of Wike saying PDP is still alive? He's not dead.
All right.
Very quickly, in
Now,
30 seconds if you can.
Good. Now, let me tell you something about this defection. The worst from the opposition is moving into the ruling party. The best from the ruling party is coming to the opposition. And I give you an example with the governor of Akwa Ibom State. His commissioner on information and strategy, he said, my political orientation is rooted in principle. And I've long opposed APC's ideology and the conduct, which stands is reaffirmed by majority of Nigerians. This is the summary of it. His own political career rooted in principle, thereby telling the whole world that his governor is unprincipled in this move. And he said the ideology and conduct of APC have been rejected by Nigerians, and this is what it is. Can you imagine a whole governor coming out to say, I can't fight like me, girl. Hey, in 2027, I want a smooth sail. I still love PDP. That's transgenderic. He's a man that behaves like a man that has the genitals of a woman.
Okay.
Can you imagine what on earth? You don't want to fight like me, you want to be a governor like me?
The views of Kenneth Okonkwo, we have to go. We have to go.
Predecessor had not fought for him, fought APC, and fought for him. He wouldn't be governor. And now look at this transgenderic governor,
You're repeating that point.
No.
Okay, we have to say thank you very much.
Men and women, they are very fantastic people. I started with them from Nollywood. Bold, beautiful, and brave. Look at the commissioner.
Okay.
But I can't say whether the man is behaving. He's just a political transgender.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Well, those are your views. The personal
That
views
is my
of
view.
Kenneth
Because he's not behaving like a man of
Okay, we have time. We've been doing more time with
the
Kenneth
conversation
Okonkwo.
has
So,
been extended.
yes, absolutely.
Great,
So,
great,
fantastic.
great. So,
Fantastic.
I mean, we've heard from an FCT minister who
Very
is the
good.
leader of,
Yes, he
or
said
supposed
very-
leader of the G5.
Very good. The intention of those people is to emasculate PDP. How can a minister be telling you PDP will survive when he has already told you he will support the presidential candidate of another party in 2027? What survivor? The best he can do is if he can muzzle everybody in PDP to keep PDP in abeyance after using them, like he used all those people that he's dealing with. He used all of them to achieve what he wanted to achieve. A minister in APC who has the agenda, clear agenda, to destroy PDP.
No, a minister of the PDP. He's a PDP minister.
Minister of APC.
Okay.
He's
Leader
appointed
of
under
PDP.
the APC
Yes.
government.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, why do I say so?
Yeah.
Even Governor Umeno, what did he say? He said, no, I don't have the kind of conscience Wike has. I believe it's morally wrong for me to be in another party and be supporting another candidate of another party. So it is morally wrong, morally bankrupt. The only thing is that the governor is just being hypocritical.
But the governor
Because
says he
they are
likes
of
the style of governance.
And he's aligning his states with the central.
He said he wants a smooth sail in 2027. And now let me tell you, that is contradictory to what politics is. When you want to describe politics, you say murky waters of politics. You say stormy waters of politics. We're not looking for politicians that want smooth sail. We want politicians that will navigate our ship to the harbor of prosperity, security, and welfare, despite the storms. Because when you're in politics, it's not a case. You would have storms. Storms of the Boko Haram from the northeast, storms of the kidnappers from the northwest, storms of the unknown gunmen sit at home in the southeast, storms of the killer herdsmen in the north central, storms of the ritualists in the southwest, storms of the oil thieves in the south. And there is a man who wants to be governor, and he wants a smooth sail. How can you have a smooth sail
when you have politicians,
along the stormy waters?
Hold on, when you have politicians,
we need men. That's why I say the best of the men are coming out to the coalition. Okay. The worst of the men are going into APC.
I was actually going to ask you what it says. I mean, averse, storm averse politicians seem to be what we have now.
What are they doing in politics?
What does it say about the quality of politicians?
I've always told people.
And how do you
want
get
to be
back?
in Nollywood? They will tell you to kiss a lady. You say you're born again. Now, what are you doing? What brought you to?
How do you get
Nollywood?
the right people, men and women, into our political space?
How do you?
How do you get the right men and women? Politicians of principle, of ideology, and pedigree.
Leaders have always made this mistake. Their followers that dobale for them. Dobale, I'm loyal. That is the qualification that make them to bring them to power. The ones that stand in front of them and tell them the truth, they always feel will not be lower. And so the recruitment process by which they recruit men who are sycophantically loyal to them, rather than expressly being competent to the job. That is why you are bringing these people like Governor Meno. So, who wants a smooth say?
So you keep repeating that.
No,
I'm sorry.
But you know
it's not even funny.
And can you imagine sacking a journalist, a media house?
Let me ask you, Mr. Okonkwo, are these the kind of people you are receiving within your coalition? Who are those within your coalition?
The engine house of the coalition, you don't even know. That I can assure you. But
so it's rudderless at the moment?
Rudderless? How can it be rudderless?
So who are, I mean,
when we have not even
you are preaching this, you
yes.
are preaching this as an alternative. And the names we are seeing are the old guards.
Yes.
But you are preaching it as an alternative to what we have currently. I just would like to know, why should I buy an old wine in a new bottle?
That is why I'm saying that you should wait until you see the platform.
So, as you have seen it for yourself. Now, the question remains, should Peter Obi still be in this coalition? Do you think Peter Obi chances in this coalition? Because what people are trying to avoid is, let it not be tomorrow they will tell you they made Peter Obi president. They made Peter Obi president. We should know that Peter Obi's presidency is going to be by people, Nigerians who are tired of the system, Nigerians who are frustrated, Nigerians who have endured enough, Nigerians who have been victims of Nigeria. Like people will say, let Nigeria not happen to you. You know, Nigerians who have had their worst being Nigerians. People are tired. People want a change. People want a real change to happen. And guess what? They are looking for somebody to come and save us. Many people are talking now. They forgot that Peter Obi actually won this election. Peter Obi won this election. If Peter Obi didn't win, how did glitch happen? How did we have a glitch that today they've not told us what that glitch is all about? So you can see that they are just being scared of the person of Peter Obi because they know that it's going to be a bombshell to them. Now, Peter Obi has been very silent about, Kenneth Okonkwo. Kenneth Okonkwo is not in support of Peter Obi even being on the ballot, let alone Peter Obi running alone. Kenneth Okonkwo has always said Peter Obi, Atiku, and TINUBU shouldn't be on the ballot. But now, TINUBU is on the ballot, meaning that nobody heeded to Kenneth Okonkwo's call. And Kenneth Okonkwo is not really fully backing Peter Obi anymore because he said he doesn't want to back people who are weak. I'm just wondering the coalition he wants to belong to. Does he want to belong to the Atiku kind of coalition, Atiku and El-Rufai? Does Kenneth Okonkwo think he will have any future? Because guess who again is going to be in that coalition should Peter Obi walk away? And for me, I tell you people, if Peter Obi walks away, Peter Obi is going to gain more support because obedience do not align with the personality of El-Rufai, not to talk of Atiku, not to talk of Amici. These are the three key people in that coalition. Kwankwaso is not really a strong political figure considering that he only controls Kano State. But for somebody like Peter Obi, you can imagine if all the Nigerian students back Peter Obi, or majority of Nigerian students. You can imagine if the unemployed in Nigeria, the Nigerian youths who are tired of the status quo. Look at somebody picked up Nigerians who had accidents on the road and came to the hospital at the FMC, the FCT, in Abuja, only to discover that they don't have gloves to even touch the patient. The lady there refused to touch the patient to help bring out the patient from the car, insisting that they don't have gloves to wear in their hands, that they don't have. She wanted the man that helped in picking that victim on the road was filming and complaining. that I saw a stranded Nigerian on the road. I picked him, brought him to the hospital. They said they can't bring him out, they can't lift him out of the vehicle. And when he wondered why, they said they don't have gloves to put on their hands. That's the kind of leaders we have. What's his name again? Wike was busy building and renovating mansion for the vice president that cost billions upon billions. You know? And now, Federal Medical Center does not have gloves. Can you imagine the irony of the kind of leaders we have in this country? It's really, really so sad. So guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.